Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Bleach 1000 Year Blood War episode 22, Marching Out the Zombies. Zombies? I'm trying to remember if there were any zombies last episode or anyone that has an ability like that. I don't know. Either way. Ichigo came in, he was doing his thing, and then Iwabaha and Uryu and the third guy, they were like, the door is open, now we can go to the royal palace and go after the Soul King. And yeah, then Ichigo wanted to go after them, but then those Stone Ritters were trying to stop him, and then Renji, Byakuya, Rukia and others showed up, and they told Ichigo to go after Yamaha and that they were going to take care of those Stone Ritters. And Ichigo noticed Ishida, oh my goodness, Uryu was there with them, and then Chad and Orihime also showed up. So it's like, but then Ishida and the others left already. So I'm like, I don't know. That's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/Filimini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. Now we got those answers to those questions that I was asking myself that episode when Bambi was on the floor after having been defeated by Komamura Taicho. After having been defeated, you see all those girls around her, and she said, please don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I'm like, okay, what happened? We got an answer to that. This particular one, whatever his name is, killed her and turned her into a zombie. Hitsugaya, after he defeated that person and he was trying to crawl toward Matsumoto, and then someone showed up. They didn't show us who that person was. Clearly it was this dude, and he used his blood to control her. I'm so pissed right now. To control him. What other answer? Was there another question? I don't know, but those were the two main things that was answered this particular episode. He said that they didn't even give his name. I'm forgetting. They said that he's when it came to Quincy's, that he has to kill them first before he can control them, and then. But the same didn't apply to Soul Reapers. Hitsugaya was not dead at the time that he approached him. So, the way the last episode ended with Uryu living with Iwabaha and the other one to the royal palace, there was this giant explosion that happened, and then everybody was sort of like sent separate ways. Like everybody was all over the place, and you had Rukia and Renji together, and who showed up there? Basby showed up there. You have Byakuya by himself, and then at least three or four Quincy's that surrounded him. Ichigo, Chad, and Orihime were together, and I love what Ichigo said when they were talking about Ishida, and then they're like, we know Ishida, he's our friend. So there must, oh, Chad is the one that said there must be a reason why he's working with Yohabaha, And Ichigo is like, yeah, I know that. And we need to ask him that. And if, like, he has known, speak proper English, man. He has known ever since this started that the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers are enemies, which basically means that him and Ishida were gonna be enemies. That he's known that, but he still needs to know why Ishida is doing what he's doing, and either way, he's gonna punch him. He's gonna punch him and bring him to them or whatever. And I'm like, this is basically the same scenario, Naruto going after Sasuke, even though Sasuke didn't want to have anything to do with them, and he's like, I'm gonna bring him back into his senses and whatnot. That's the similarities that I got out of that, but I still loved it, them going after Ishida, because I'm like, you guys are friends, so I don't like the fact that they're gonna be facing each other or whatever. But with what Ichigo said, I feel a whole lot better, no matter what Ishida's goals are, I feel better about it. And then they're like, okay, we need to go after him, but how are we gonna do that? And then Kisuke shows up, and then he brings them to Mayuri's lab, and they were gonna use sort of like basically the same mechanism that those people used to send them to the Serete before to go save Rukia. They were basically gonna use that, but they didn't have enough energy or whatever. And then that's when Yoruichi showed up with these things that the previous members, the visored members that I know, those people, what they were doing, they were collecting those things, and they were basically pure energy, and they were gonna use that to send those three to. Is it just gonna be those three, or Kisuke gonna go with them? I feel like it's just gonna be those three because they were the only three people in there. But either way, they were gonna use those things to send Ichigo and the others to the royal palace. So there's that, and then you have to go back to that person, and you have Ikaku and Yumichika there. And the way he was talking, he wanted them to cut him so that his blood couldn't be all over them, and he can control them. And they figured that, and then they started fighting, and Maruichi. Mayuri showed up with all his greatness, with all his brightness and everything. And then he brought out, when he was saying something, after that person brought out all those soul reapers that he was controlling and everything. And he was talking about, he's such a pure ball of love with a spinal cord or something. I'm like, really? He doesn't have it in himself to kill his fellow soul reapers. I'm like, really? I don't believe that. And then he brought out those Arrancars and stuff. I'm like, where'd y'all come from? And apparently after they were defeated, that one what are they called again? Those higher level Arrancars, they have names. The Grimjo Jago. What were the names again? Espada, yeah. There's that one Espada that's also all about conducting scientific experiments and all of that. Apparently he had their bodies or whatever in his lab and whatnot, and Mayuri got them, and he basically revived them, and now they're working for him and they're the ones that are supposed to be facing the Soul Reapers now. I can place two of them pretty well. The first one that was saying Nino and Nina or whatever was basically like the very first real Arrancar threat that Ichigo faced when they went to Hueco Mundo. And the second one, the girl, was the one that Ishida was facing with that one that was nodding all over the place. Those two were facing each other. The one that was basically calling Yumishika fugly. I'm trying to remember. I can't quite place their battle, but clearly they faced each other. And the fourth one, clearly faced Ikaku, I guess, but I don't remember their fighting. I only remember those two, the Nino person and the girl. So they were the ones that are facing the Soul Reapers, killing them and everything. And yeah, so they were able to get rid of Bombi's zombie, I guess. And then they brought out Hitsugaya, which I'm so pissed. So that's what happened. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/ifeelimini, and you can also see the full length of this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye. What do you want? Mom, who do you want? No, just like mom. One is not special, maybe you can be